Hi guys, my name is Krista Buchan, and if you don't know me, I am the global ambassador representing both Hawaii and Japan for the Samaya Foundation. I'm 27 years old, and I am a local born and raised here on Oahu. I'm currently living in Oahu as well. So I am here to share my MOGAD story with you all in hopes that I can reach out to an audience who might have experienced something similar to me, or, at least give you that sort of validation that you are not alone in this journey. And so, for context, I was diagnosed with MOGAD in March of 2023, and prior to that, my symptoms were classified as optic neuritis. So in November 2022, I started developing peripheral pain, and I went to multiple urgent cares to basically, or hopefully get answers as to why I was getting these peripheral pains. And just know that I was COVID tested, I was flu tested, all that good stuff. They ended up being negative, and it was just frustrating just because I wasn't getting any answers, and these urgent care doctors did not know what was wrong with me. And so I will say that it was a very challenging time for me. And I also felt like I was being medically gaslit, if that makes sense, because no matter how many times I tell these doctors that there is something wrong with me, and whatever that they can do to the best of their ability is all that they'll do. So, they'll, when I was tested for all these things, they're just like, nothing is wrong with you. You're fine. Just take some painkillers and it'll go away. And, I was just really overwhelmed with experiencing all these different new symptoms at the time. Peripheral pain, and, going to the ER because of these peripheral pains, and then requesting for an MRI, and then being denied an MRI, this and that. It was really overwhelming, and I really did not enjoy this time at all. So, yeah. So as I said, started with peripheral pain, and then moving forward to December of 2022, I went completely blind in my right eye. My left eye was very blurry, so I had double vision issues. And I went to an ophthalmologist who basically checked my eyes out. And from there, that's when things started to look better for me, because my ophthalmologist advocated for me, told me that I needed to go to the ER right away because he knows that something is wrong with me. And so because of him, which I am grateful for, thank goodness I found him, doctors were able to figure out my diagnosis, and that being MOGAD. So it was quite the journey, I will say. But yeah, it was this autoimmune disease has been life-altering for me, since my diagnosis, and even before my diagnosis. Just dealing with all these symptoms was horrible. I got really sick a lot in 2022, so I had my first case of the flu. I've also had my first case of COVID, and then my first case of optic neuritis, like the triple threat here, guys. And it was just not the year for me. It was horrible. I also do want to put into context that I was a full-time classroom teacher, so I taught both a combo 5th and 6th grade class. I was in my 3rd year of teaching, and so, teachers are more prone to getting sick because they work with children, but I knew myself, and I'm not someone who gets that sick. And so when I was, when I dealt with all 3 of those things in 1 year, I was like, this is out of the normal for me. I do get sick, but I don't get that sick, if that makes sense. And so 2022 was just a horrible year. I felt like my body was just shutting down and, not cooperating with me. And so, because of that, I've basically been in and out of the hospitals. I was constantly going to ER, the emergency room because of, these relapses that I was getting. And so, yeah, 2022 and 2023 were both very rough years for me. Not my years at all, but it was definitely a learning curve as well. And so fast forwarding, after finding out my diagnosis in March of 2023, I was still going through multiple relapses. I've been in and out of hospitals during that time too. Constant ophthalmologist appointments, and being put on prednisone was not it as well. Yeah, it was 2023, I would say, was way worse in the sense that this disease has caused me to make the harsh and brutal decision to leave the classroom full time. And so I quit my teaching job last year in July. And after that, I've went through my first ever case of, I will say, depression. I was very depressed when I quit teaching because I felt that I had no calling after that. I just felt like teaching was all I knew how to do. And I've worked so hard to get my degree in teaching. And, when I left the classroom, my intentions were genuine. It was not just the fact that I wanted to take care of myself and my physical health, but it was the fact that I had to legitimately reflect about how this disease has interfered in the workplace. For example, when I was taking sick leave because I was in and out of the hospitals, let's just say that because this autoimmune disease is out of my control, I do not ever know when it's going to happen. And so when it does happen, I'm scrambling to make sub plans, and I just feel like it causes more stress on me. So teaching is already stressful enough as it is. Shout out to all the teachers because y'all are the MVPs. But I felt I felt guilty, I felt frustrated, and I felt like everything that I basically left behind in regards to my responsibilities was basically taken care of by my coworkers. And it was just really, really hard for me to accept that because I had great coworkers who were very supportive of me, who cared a lot about my health. My principal, my academic coach, and all these other teachers were just, they literally did everything in their power to work with me. And so that was the village that I was in. It takes a village to do this stuff. And so for someone like me, I'm an overthinker. And when, although I had great support system, I'm just someone who doubts herself a lot and thinks of the negative. So I felt frustrated with myself. I felt like this is not my coworker's job. I felt so bad that I'm adding extra work onto them. And it was just really hard for me to accept. I just want to say that. I did not want people to do my work because it is my responsibility. And so when they go out of their way to do things for me like this, it makes me really emotional because it's I don't deserve this, but these people really want to go above and beyond for me. And that is where I'm truly grateful. But it was just something it really hurt. It really not hurt me, but it was really hard for me to allow to happen because I felt like I was enabling myself to just let this all happen and then just relax and lay back and things like that. So yeah, So I will say that because of this autoimmune disease, I left the classroom full time. I left it completely. And I went through my depression phase after quitting teaching. So I was depressed, I would like to say, for about 4 to 5 months. And I've never experienced depression before, like in this manner. I will say, like, in Japan, we call this like hikikomori. And basically, what a hikikomori is like someone who is just so dissociated with the environment, with their environment. They're just bedridden all day. They don't want to go out. They just want to be in a dark room, just shut out everything completely. Like, even like if your closest friends would like hit you up, like, it's just like, we don't want to talk. We want time for ourselves. We don't have the energy to talk to anybody about how we feel. So that was what I was in. I was a hikikomori, and it was just a really strange like phase of my life, I will say, because I am someone who is very extroverted and I love talking. Like, just how you see me now, like, this is how I normally talk to people. And so experiencing this depression phase of mine, or this hikikomori phase of mine, was another life altering event as well. And, you know, I never imagined myself to end up in a situation like this, being this depressed. And mind you, during this depression phase, I have lost 40 pounds because I did not want to eat. I couldn't even have the energy to eat. Like, chewing food took so much energy out of me, and I never would have thought that would happen because I love food as well. So I can eat. So when during that time, when I was just in a very bad mental state, eating was so hard for me to do. And I did lose 40 pounds, and I didn't even exercise. Like, that was really unhealthy. And I just, when I look back on it, like, I'm just so surprised how I transitioned out of this hikikomori phase. And this is how I did it. So after 4 to 5 months of being completely depressed and absolutely not doing anything with my life, I think I woke up one day and was like, what the hell am I doing? I literally woke up and was like, I just had like this different feel. I don't know how to explain it, but it was like a gut feeling that you're just kind of like, something needs to change, right? Like, it was one of those gut feelings. And so I woke up one day in the morning and I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life? Like, this is not me. I know who I am. I'm just thinking negatively of myself because I just felt incapable of doing things. But I am my worst monster. Like, what the hell? Like, this is not the Crystal Bee that I know. So I woke up and I was like, today I'm just going to apply for a job. And I did. And I told myself that beggars can't be choosers too. So I was like, you know what? If I have to start from the bottom again, I'm going to start from the bottom. I'll apply for like a retail job. Like, I know I hold a degree, but that don't mean anything right now. Let me just get back up on my feet. Let's do something with my life and we'll go from there. And so I did. I applied for Target, got the job, and it was just a seasonal position. So it was just perfect for me as well because I wanted to slowly regain myself back up. And so I knew my boundaries and I knew that I didn't want to work a full-time job because, like, I just got out of depression and I'm dealing with an autoimmune disease. So a full-time job is not in the works for me at that time. And so Target was perfect because it basically allowed me to work only like maybe 2 to 3 days out of the week. It was not a hard job. I was a style consultant. Like, I knew that I could definitely pull this job off. I knew that my personality was the type to be in customer service too, because I feel like teaching and customer service are somewhat interconnected. Like, I have to put on a show for the audience, like whether it's my students or whether it's guests or customers in the store. Like, I could pull that off. So I did. I enjoyed my time at Target. Thank you very much. And moved on to the next. So from there, I will say that slowly regaining myself has been the best thing that's ever happened to me because It was truthfully a very, very critical time of reflection. I loved how this all played in my favor because right now I'm actually going back into the DOE. I've been getting job offers for different positions. And so I am just working part time though, however. And with that, I feel like having an autoimmune disease has allowed me to even figure out more boundaries that I want to create for myself. And so, although I know I can be capable of going back into the workforce full time, I choose to stay in the workforce part time because at the end of the day, like, my health does matter, and I know who I am, and I feel like I can better manage my life by doing these things. So with that, I'm really excited for what the future holds because I just can't wait to go back into the DOE and work with students again. I feel like that's my calling, that's my passion, but I know that I don't want to do it full time anymore. So that's just basically it. And so with that, I really hope for all of you that you know that you're your biggest supporter and you're also your worst enemy. So be very careful with how you think about yourself because it can get you into the rabbit hole. But other than that, I really hope you guys enjoy my story, and I really hope to connect with you all. And if you wish to connect with me, please message me on Insta, and we can go from there. Anywho, you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.